Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Welcome to a beautiful Wednesday morning. It is Morning Spring right here on Western Spring Television, where we say it as it is. Right here on Morning Spring, what we do is that we speak to critical issues affecting us as a country, speaking to critical stakeholders, policymakers, politicians, civil justice advocates, and every other person that is, in the matter. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei, welcoming you especially to another edition of this show. And I do not do this alone. Femi Ojo is here, and he came in with a dark shade, and I was asking him what's up with the dark shades. Thank God he took it off before the cameras would come on him. How are you doing, Femi?
In this world, now people they do people, as they say. Now who know you go do you? But good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. It's exciting to be back here again to do what we do at this time, and it's about this great nation called Nigeria. Femi Ojo is my name, and here we are on Morning Spring on Western Spring Television, beaming live to you on channel 190 on Star Times DTT. Thank you very much for staying with us. And on the program, we look at the headlines. These are stories, from our major dailies in Nigeria. Every day, we're going to do that here again today. And of course, we move to the conversation segment where we talk about these issues that Evelyn talked about earlier. The coast is here to clear about the aftermath or what happened rather, as Joe Ajero of the NLC was arrested, the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, at the airport, and many of the things that happened with him this morning. There are reports that maybe he was arrested, in connection with the wanted Britain, the guy that the Nigeria Security Agency have placed on wanted list. Maybe he has a case to answer about, treason and all of these issues. By the way, but then um, the same day that happened to the office of Sarah, we talked about it yesterday, was ransacked, and some of their directors or their director was said to be, they were looking for him, and I just asking, was he invited before that time? Has he been invited? That he declined the invitation? That they now to come, possibly to whisk him away? These are some of the issues, and politics is not far away when issues like this happen. Beyond politics, people want to have a grasp of what is happening, and many persons are carpeting the administration of the day on maybe they don't have a thick skin to criticism or dissenting voices. That this is an hallmark of democracy, in as much it's not something that is against the law. And politicians are already having a field day speaking about these issues, bearing their mind, just like any other Nigerians. We'll be looking into that in the course of the program. And we'll go on this quick break right now. When we return, we will be talking, taking you through the pages of the newspaper, the front pages of the newspaper. You'll be very interested. Stay with us.
View segment, and we will start with the Punch newspaper this morning. Let's see what the Punch newspaper has for us this Wednesday morning. And the sad incident that happened or is happening in Borno State. Borno Dam collapse, FG opens IDP camps as flood submerges 70% of Maiduguri. With rider here, inmates escape, thousands displaced. Tinubu, NAS, governors pledge aid as NEMA begins evacuation. It's a sad incident, and there are fears of fatalities already in Borno state, with some children reported missing, inmates
Lord have
escaped
mercy.
from prison, and thousands displaced. Yesterday we saw the vice president in the state. Of course, that's a state, and
Was
I saw
governor
him
there for
wading
8
through
years.
the floods, and a lot of people were saying this is leadership, or the fact that he was empathetic enough to also walk through the
Interesting.
floods and all of that. But
If you
and
ask me, that's convenient, by the way. Yeah, it's leadership, but that's what anybody would do. Even somebody in a state of folly would do that, But the question is, what happened to evacuation? What happened to meteorological reports before that time? Because except we are being, pessimistic and what do they say, superstitious or spiritual about some of these things, which sometimes we are not supposed to be, but which is okay. Some of these things don't just happen. They don't just happen. Now we are hearing evacuation after fatality. What happened to things from NEMA? I mean, warnings from the Nigeria Meteorological Agency. All of these, wow, some of these states have been listed to be in danger zone. And now this came upon us. And now you see leaders promising, palliatives and emergency response. Some things will bring it upon ourselves. I'm sorry to say it. I'm not blaming the victims now. I'm talking about the leadership that are supposed to have taken the bull by the horn to say, guys, we have to leave before these things happen. They don't just happen out of the blues.
yeah, it does not just. But our thoughts and prayers are with the residents in Borno State,
That's right.
especially in Maiduguri.
Right.
People are left stranded, children missing.
Inmates escaping,
Inmates
cemeteries
escaping,
washed away.
corpses
Come
floating.
on.
In fact, there are also reports of some wild animals, crocodiles, snakes, and all of that.
Yeah, because the whole ecosystem is messed up.
Exactly. But we hope that those in authority can do the right thing, and also the citizens or residents of Maiduguri or Borno State in general can be cooperative,
Right.
so they can find a lasting solution, a quick and lasting solution to this issue. Away from that, Lagos Red Line train to transport 150,000 passengers daily, and 100,000 new recruits for deployment February 25. This is from the police. And 70,000 naira wage. NYSC awaits FG directive on new corpus pay. The core members have been having their ears to the ground, their eyes on the money, asking when are we going to, transition from this 30,000
going to be
naira.
their turn?
I think they collect 33,000 naira to maybe they're expecting. Some people are saying it's going to be 77,000 naira, whatever it is. NYC has released a statement telling the core members and the general public that they are still awaiting the federal government's directive. And I think they shouldn't be faster than their shadows, because those are even in government civil servants are yet to get their own pay rise. The
labor guys who even fought for the
exactly, they are yet to get it, so they shouldn't be faster than their shadows.
But you know what expectation of money does to people? You are just eager. If how many persons will have been, they have a list already. What they are
about things on credit. Top corner. Why NNPC may not lift Dangote petrol on Sunday. I thought the date was supposed to be September 15. Now we're hearing another excuse. Fuel with the rider. Fuel importers fear domestic production. This is credited to Refiners Association. What's happening, Femi? There are reports that NNPC may still not lift Dangote petrol on Sunday after there have been reports to assure the citizens that September 15, the NNPC will start lifting petrol from Dangote refinery. They continue to shift the goalposts. The same they've been doing with the Port Harcourt refinery.
I'm not sure anybody who is serious should take these guys serious. Again, this is not me being anti, what did they say it now? Anti-whatever, anti-agency or whatever you might want to say. these, especially the oil sector, until that happens, don't have your hopes very high. Even the Dangote refinery was launched possibly a week before Buhari left, May 2023.
Yeah.
Now it's not in full operation yet. Commercialization of every commodity, yes, maybe some things have started. Now the issue of the turnaround maintenance of these refineries, it has been for years. It happened under Buhari. None of them were, And now we're hearing, maybe around December we learned it has technically, been made active. That's the Port Harcourt refinery. Till now, nothing, not even 1 ounce, 1 drop of oil. And it has been date upon date. And now the NNPCL, the NNPC may not leave Dangote Petrol on Sunday. We are here. We have not died. We will not die. But Nigerians will know who is saying the truth and who is not.
Yes, and also a lot of people are calling on the Minister of Petroleum, who is also the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to do something about this, to be accountable to the people. Because it seems the President is working as the President of the Republic of Nigeria, but does not function, even though his office, the Ministry of Petroleum, is attached to him. He doubles as a Minister of Petroleum, but when it comes to issues affecting petroleum, the government, the President remains mum. And probably, he sends the Minister of State for Petroleum, no, Oga, you are in charge.
Yeah.
The Minister of State for Petroleum is just like an assistant to you. So you are answerable to the people on issues when it comes to petroleum.
And in this case, that he has been missing in action, because that's what it is as far as that office is concerned. Many Nigerians have been saying, give it to other persons. Do you mean you don't have credible persons that you trust enough to handle that ministry in substantive capacity, apart from the Minister of State Oil, Minister of State Gas, the Ekwerekwe and the Aniki Lokobiri? Give it to somebody. And in fact, it has to do with the National Assembly. If actually they wake up to their responsibility, because they have a mandate, they have the constitutional right. I'm talking about the National Assembly, to invite anybody, including the number
Mr.
one,
President,
to come and give
account
of what you are doing.
Yeah.
But the National Assembly that's currently constituted, even before this one, the jury is out.
All right, still on the punch, Southwest governors to spend 266 billion naira on airport projects. I may want to ask, is this the next thing we need in Southwest? What about the roads, interstate roads,
266 billion
interstate
around airport projects.
Edo Corner, talking about the Edo governorship poll. It's countdown to September 21.
Right.
INEC ready for free fair poll. Yakubu declares. Obi converses votes for Apata in Benin. All can be found on page 18 of the Punch newspaper. And Femi, there were
10 days
some
away.
rumors that, there were some rumors that Mr. Peter Obi, there's a likelihood that Mr. Peter Obi may be working for AI and
Artificial intelligence.
no, Asweg,
Okay.
that's his
Good to
nick for
put that
this. But then Mr. Obi in Benin, campaigning for Apata, has put all of that to rest to let them know that he is conversing or he's campaigning for the Labour Party Guba candidate, Olumide Apata. That will be all from the Punch newspaper this morning.
Especially on the front page of the Punch that you just took. One needs to see the submerged buildings, the aerial view of the disaster that has happened. And I had to say what I said earlier, because natural disasters are things that are beyond us, really. There is little you can do. But then nature and science has given us an advantage, at least to some level, to have, if you can't control it, move away completely from it. And it's not just because of the handdoings of anybody. We've seen these things happen, even in the almighty USA. It happens in Japan. In fact, most of the Asian countries are having these issues, I will talk, but you see evacuation in China. It keeps happening. A whole community, a whole state can be evacuated. That's why you have knowledge and you have science. But in Nigeria,
but our IDP camps have been, opened to take in
after the disaster happened.
Exactly.
After the fatalities, after you have crocodiles now roaming the streets, and some people's grandparents are just there somewhere because the cemetery have been washed away. Maybe you don't even have power over that particular one. But you imagine wild animals now part of the people's ecosystem
Yeah.
in the metropolis. These are some of the issues as well. But then we wish them all the best. And this is not the best of time in that particular state. And we hope other states that are on that red list will take responsibility and do what they have to do so that we don't come back to this space and then speak English. And then the president or vice president will come in his Babangida and hold it. And people will be saying this is leadership. That is not leadership. That's not the kind of leadership we are hoping for, especially the state executives. Whatever you have to do, please do on time and save your people. That is the real leadership. So the Daily Trust, same story on the front page. Flooding, over 200,000 displaced, children missing in Maiduguri. That's another angle.
Yeah.
Because when these things happen, there are families that might, they have been scattered. And if care is not taken, many of them might never be reunited again because of this disaster. And then the issue is the closure. You don't know who is missing or who is dead in this kind of situation. Nobody wants to be in that kind of situation. The trauma is there. Now, riders, corpses float. A cemetery washed away. Houses, Sheu's Palace, hospital submerged. Crocodiles, snakes escape into communities. That's another danger. Who will take care of these reptiles? And Shatima consoles victims as Zulum reopens IDP's camp. All right. And if you could see the area picture, it's not a good one at all. 125, moving on, 125,517 terrorist family members surrendered. DHQ, whatever that means. Surrender. Family members surrendered. Interesting headline, by the way. 125,517 terrorists and family members surrendered. Are they doing the terrorism thing as a family? By the way, that's from the DHQ, Defense Headquarters, Bottle Strip. Retired judge charged with assaulting neighbor's wife. Is there? Youths block road over killing of charcoal dealers in Bauchi. A bad one there. 5 bandits killed, corpses dumped in FCT community. And Ajero's arrest, violation of trade union freedom, UKTUC. And Nigeria's crude oil production rose to 1.352 million in August. OPEC. That sound like a good news. And Israel kills 248 Palestinians in safe zones as rights groups condemn siege. This is one issue, one war that's refused to go away. Almost a year after, the children, women, innocents are dying, and it seems the two sides are not backing down. That'll be all from the front page of the Daily Trust for today.
All right, from Daily Trust, let's add on to Vanguard newspaper this morning. On Vanguard newspaper, Ajero, nobody is above the law. That is credited to the federal government with some riders here. Allegations of rights abuse in Nigeria falls. FG replies UK TUC. My ordeal with DSS operatives, other security agencies. NLC president says they are fishing for evidence to nail us. Confirms return of seized passports, phones, and our pressure from local international community forced government to release Ajero. NLC to conduct medical checks on its president. Oppression from Tinubu's regime surpasses military dictatorships. This is coming from Vice President Atiku Abubakar. We didn't raid. We came for investigation. DSS tells Sarah. And we might want to know what was the procedure for their investigation. Of course, there is a clear difference between raiding a place and going there for an investigation. Was it with the cooperation of those who in charge of that particular location, or did you go without their consent and without their cooperation? Away from the Ajero's issue, agony as floods wreak havoc in Maiduguri, and of course you can see the damage caused on the front page of the Vanguard. We can see the damage caused by this flood and people, making a bridge from sacks of sand to cross over to another side, to the other side of the road. Some youths in Gwangwa area of the Borno capital Maiduguri tried to block the flood waters with bags of sand to prevent the water from getting to their streets as flood ravages Maiduguri metropolis due to heavy downpour yesterday. Residents wade thigh deep in flood water on their streets in Maiduguri, and the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital was not spared. These are riders for that particular story. It's a sad one, like I said. It's good that states have pledged their support for Maiduguri, Borno State at this time, because I know that they need all the help that they can get, not just for NEMA alone, but for other states to come through for them.
People there.
Bandits leader Bello Turji, others will soon be captured, says CDS. And that's on page 12 of the Vanguard. Away from that, top strip of Vanguard in deepening its capital markets, Nigeria raises over $900 million 5-year inaugural domestic FGN US dollar bond. And from the world of sports, Morocco 2025, Eagles versus Wasps. It's a barren draw in Kigali. And just for the laughs, Mr. and Mrs., the first time I heard the word lip service, I thought it was a style of kissing. Really?
Interesting.
That's for Mr. and Mrs. says that's how a he-goat thinks. Really? That's too much from Mrs. But then that's all I have for you from Vanguard, the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this one.
All right, and I go to The Guardian today. The Guardian newspaper. Fears of fatalities as Borno Dam collapses and displaces 500,000. And the statistics is there. Key metrics of 2024 flood incident, pre-dam, crisis. And it has 29 states have been affected. 809,312 persons have been affected. Houses that have been affected has been put at 94,491 before the dam collapse, by the way. And lives lost put at 229, and hectares of farmlands that have been affected, 125,805 hectares. So you can do the math. Hectares of farmlands, not your fallow lands, farmlands have been affected, and the figure has been put at 125,805 hectares. So that's not good. And injury sustained has been put at 2,390, and displaced persons 386,239, and local government have been affected has been put at 172 LGAs. That was before yesterday's incident. So you expect a surge in these figures because of the kind of disaster that happened yesterday when the dam busted open because of all these issues that people are having. It is a lot. Now, Army denies fresh invasion of Okwama, says it is routine military operation. People were shouting of invasion yesterday, but the military are coming out to say it is a routine military operation. And one would say, Okwama, what significance is there? But then, maybe they have their reasons. Invasion, military routine, in the same sentence. All right, moving on. The petrol pump price hike, a failure of leadership. Okay, that's on his page 5 of The Guardian. Moving on, Nigerians are disappointed. Reono Kankanfo tells Tinubu. That's Iba Gani Adams there. Nigerians are disappointed. Reono Kankanfo tells Tinubu. And federal government rules out free CNG kits, 230 naira per liter gas. Okay, federal government rules out free CNG kits, 230 naira per liter for gas. And OBOT, right INEC over LP caretaker committee. And Abuja residents groan over restricted access to 40,000 naira rise. Now, the sale of that rise as it commences, because sometimes you don't even get to know what's happening. because we're hearing that Abuja guys are, groaning that they don't have access to the 40,000 naira
It was
rice.
actually supposed to start in Abuja.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened, why
Some are groaning.
they're
don't have
lamenting
access.
restricted access, but
Okay.
then to forestall any form of fatalities
yeah.
or stampede, maybe
Okay.
that's the reason. But then rice, Nigeria shall rise
exactly.
again.
And here you have this speech that has the number one woman, the number one person, let me put it that way, the chair of the WTO, our own former
Ngozi.
minister,
Yeah.
of finance there, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. So I have to put it there. It's not just number one woman, it's the number one person there. And so, every time you see her, you're impressed with what she's doing and occupying a very topmost position. Distinguished members of the World Trade Organization Business Advisory Group, including Chairman, Coronation Group, and Access Holding, Mr. Aibo J. Aig, Imokode, CFR, Chairperson and CEO, Ms. Dane Wang, with the Director General, the DJ there, World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, CFR, at the annual WTO Public Forum in Geneva, in Switzerland. All right, talk about Nigerians doing great things there. That will be all from the front page of The Guardian.
And we move over to the Nation newspaper this morning. Bold, big caption on the Nation newspaper says federal government dollar bond attracts $900 million subscription and proceeds for critical economic projects, says Wale Edun. That's the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy. Federal government dollar bond attracts $900 million subscription. Ajaero, no human rights abuse in Nigeria, says presidency. The presidency is insisting that there is nothing like human rights abuse in the country. All right, away from that, we are winning battle against bandits or thieves, say service chiefs, with the rider terrorist charges capture imminent. And someone like Ladeji would say, leave talk, leave story, show action.
Yeah, show action.
In the Nigeria parlance, this is not a time for you to just keep running to the media and giving us, we are set to, we will do this, we want to do this. Do it and just show us the result already. We are winning battle against bandits, against all thieves, but we still see these bandits. We still hear what they do, about what they do. We still hear about what all thieves do. I mean, just get to the work already and deliver results instead of you just talking alone. Bottom strip in red at the 2024 PDP APC clash over purported plan to make state ungovernable. And Bure, Yesufu Igodalo, others ran Obi campaign funds with rider candidates sidelined LP in financial matters. Canada student enrollment drops by 45%. New immigration policy unfavorable. Yes, that has been in the public space for some days now. People talking about the fact that the new immigration policy is unfavorable to immigrants, people that want to go there for study. And according to this report, Canada student enrollment has dropped by 45%. All right, top corner, $3.5 billion LNG. Shell accuses Venture Global of alleged wrongful earnings as NLNG faces same offense. These are the headlines you have on the front page of the Nation newspaper this Wednesday morning.
You know what there is in the history, September 11th. Does it ring a bell? Does it?
You might want to tell me.
September 11, 2001. The terrorist situation that happened in the U.S., when the Al-Qaeda, through Osama bin Laden, attacked the World Trade Center in the U.S. And today is another September 11. I remember that day, and around 11 o'clock or thereabouts, it was the BCOS, because I was in Ibadan at the time.
Okay.
And then the live feed came in, and you could see smoke and billows of smoke when the terrorists, hijacked a plane and directed it towards one of the twin towers of the US.
Yeah.
And, the disaster happened. And just a few minutes or 1 hour after that, another attack, the same hijack.
Two times,
yeah, and that is the thing. So, how many years after now? That's 23 years after 2001 to 2024. America will never be the same again. And you know what happened was President George Bush. I was there at the time, and you could see how it happened. And the mastermind, according, to news sources, was put to be Osama bin Laden. And, they followed him, Al Qaeda, but the kind of disposition of the Americans, and it took from George Bush to Barack Obama, government upon government. It happened when President Bush was there, and it was under Barack Obama that they finally put to rest, the pursuit of the mastermind of that particular attack, Osama bin Laden. 10 years, they were following in the CIA, the FBI, everybody. And, many persons, although there are political dimensions to it as well, I'm not speaking to that. Now, I'm saying that these are, I think, some of our guests have talked about it. If there are masterminds, criminals that we need to follow, sometimes it's not about the noise. Just like you said, do your work, whatever time it takes. By the time you appear, then there is no running.
You have your results already.
You have, if it's about the court, you have the proof and the evidence ready. If it's about an attack, you have your way, and then everything is clear. But somebody says it's only in Nigeria that a secret agent will be telling you, do you know I'm a secret agent? And then you are asking, what's secret about your agent again? And I like to put something, that if I can actually see that, I think it was when the new DSS boss was changed, and then raised another person in charge right now. One of the statements that was released by the DSS, and I hope they will, get through to that. It was tagged, DSS gets a new DG. And, the latter part of that particular release talked about they hope that they will go back to their clandestine nature. It means their secret covert operations, not this one that you are seeing them out and then they're always in the news. And these are some of the things they talk about. If actually I see, the later part of that release, released by Peter Funaya, PhD, said, instructively, the DGSS pledged to refocus the service, now listen, towards covertness and likelihood of studied silence over certain matters. That was the release when the new guy came in. Instructively, the DGSS pledged to refocus the service towards the keyword is covertness and likelihood of studied silence over certain matters. And we hope this will be the situation of this commando nature of invasion. I say no, it's not invasion. It's what was it called right now? It's investigation. Yeah. Do your work when you are supposed to do your work, and let us see result. Because Nigerians will not have it to say you want to go covert, on some issues, and then there are burning issues that maybe some of their people, personnel, have been fingered, and you say because you want to be covert, you are silent on it. If it's covert, let it be covert, and let's see results. And Nigerians will always support you. Just know that in as much something is working, this is where we put the brakes. Take this pause on this segment. When we come back, we'll speak to issues that has to do with the rule of law, democracy, voice of dissent, criticism of administration. How do we marry all of these, for us to continue as a sovereign nation that as a nation to keep, then Nigerian state must survive. Either is A party, B party, or C party. But when the policies of the government is somehow adversarial in nature to the people, or they are not seeing the result, and the people are criticizing, and some want to go for a protest, where do we draw the line? We'll be speaking with a critical stakeholder to have that conversation with us, and especially when politics, is part of the conversation as well. Stay with us. It's still Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. We'll be right back.